go. You guys know what time it is here. Happy Saturday. We got a great slate today here of sports in general. Not only do we have college football playoff going on today with a few games, we have the NFL slate to talk about as well. That starts at noon today. So, of course, we all have some hockey picks there from Eric Norton. And then let's see what else we got coming into play here as well today here. But my name's Tanner Dawson. Oh, the Rec Room Sports here. Join with me and none other is Mr. Scott Cobe. Scott, what's up, dude?
Not much. Big day, big sports day today.
Big sports day. Yeah, it is. Did you cash in some money from Notre Dame last night?
I certainly did. I certainly did
as well.
I'm a Notre Dame fan first and foremost, but
that's right.
They're good. They're really good. And I'd say about 2 weeks ago, I bet Notre Dame to win it all, and it was like plus 800 at the time. So I took it. They're really good.
They are. They
have a nice path to the championship game. So
they really do. It's actually quite impressive the way they look, their morale, the way they carry themselves. Sure, Indiana made something excited late, but for that being a only 7-point spread game going into the game, I was like, no way, not even 7.5, but 7. Oh yeah, no, I'll put some there.
Yeah, I could see it on a neutral site it being 7, but it was at Notre Dame.
Yeah,
and it's cold. And I know Indiana plays in the cold, but the one team that they played with any kind of really good football team was Ohio State this year.
Yeah.
And they didn't look good at all after the first quarter in that game. So if you go on history, if they were playing a Purdue type of team, they'd have robbed them. But they played Notre Dame. So there's no way. I didn't think they had a chance.
And that was kind of that was my thing as well with the 7-point spread. I was like, Indiana hasn't played anybody outside of Ohio State to do it, and they got blown out by Ohio State. Why would this thing be 7? So yeah, no, I appreciate the sports books throwing out the 7-point spread, and hopefully we can find some more lines here later on. I did go to bet it again at half. But it was 17.5 at half for the spread. So I was like, nah, I don't like 17.5.
The one thing that I could say is in-game betting is really good at times, but when it's 17.5, it's just like, I think I'll keep my money. I don't think I'm going to let it go. So
they were barely up, I think, by 10 or something like that by then. So I It wasn't a good line at half, so I decided to stay away from it, which is probably actually worked out better. So that's what I like. So, but hey, we got some matchups to talk into first here. We're gonna pop into the first matchup of the day here. Let's talk about it here. One of our favorites, between both of us here, SMU Penn State today going at it. If we kind of look at it here, it's going to be stupid cold, but it's not going to be no big weather at all. No events, no rain, no snow, but it's going to be a chilly one. If we kind of look at how SMU and Penn State have stacked up this year, both at 11-2 records, SMU with an 8-5 ATS and Penn State with a 6-7 ATS. Over-unders 8-5 for SMU, 6-7 for Penn State. And then looking at SMU away, they are 5-0 away on away games. Penn State is 6-1 ATS at home. So I think we saw SMU with Clemson. That was kind of disappointing there for, I think, all of us there, which we did not anticipate. Yeah. But it keeps Bama out, so I guess it was all right. It's
no.
This game's an interesting one, right? Because we've seen Penn State offense just go crazy at times, right? And they very well could lock it in and go at it. But what's your take of this game here? Like, what do you like? What don't you like here? And we'll go from there.
The spread's way too much. 9 points is way too much. No respect for SMU, number one. Number two, the backup QB for Penn State is in the transfer portal, and they had a package of plays for him. So I don't know how that's going to affect Penn State. James Franklin's not good in big games, and of course this is a big game. Do I think Penn State can win the game? Yeah. Do I think they can win by 9? No. I took SMU plus the 9 this morning. I just think that SMU, can they win the game outright? Absolutely. But they'll definitely keep it within a touchdown, I think. This is going to go right down to the wire, in my mind. So I love SMU in this spot.
I'm right there with you, man. I think that 9-point spread here is ridiculous. Ridiculous. You gave Indiana 7 points to freaking Notre Dame, and SMU still getting disrespected by the sports community, the sports books, everybody. And you did 9 points because they're playing Penn State. No, get out of here. This ain't Notre Dame. This ain't nobody they're playing here. I mean, if we look at what SMU has brought to this team, right? They came back in that title game too, being down so far, losing on the last second field goal, guys. There's no reason why this SMU team should be disrespected like that. You're blowing out teams the last 2 weeks with Cal and UVA. Sure, you're struggling against BC, but you still beat them by 10. They beat Pitt. They gave Pitt their first loss, by the way. So you remember Pitt's downfall started with SMU.
It did.
Do you remember that?
It did. Yeah. The one thing you put Penn State and Notre Dame on a match them up in a neutral field. Notre Dame's going to win that game by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah.
So now what you're saying is you're basically saying Penn State's better than Notre Dame. That's what the bookmakers are saying right now with the spreads. That's false. So I love SMU. I think I might sprinkle some money line on them today as the game starts.
Actually, that's not a bad idea, Scott. That's not a bad idea. I mean,
just beat some money, nothing crazy. Just like a $5 spot or a $10 spot or something. But I might sprinkle it on and win the game.
I just did it on DK, man. It's plus 260. You get $18 total back. I'll take that. And if you look at Penn State too, they play defense against the bad teams, but when you have to play against good teams, they don't. SMU takes advantage of that. They got great weapons. They got a great QB here. There is nothing here telling me that Penn State has this in the bag, right?
I really don't think so. I don't.
I don't.
No, they played Oregon tough. I give them credit for doing what they did against Oregon. This is a whole different animal. This is a win or go home situation.
Yeah, they were already in.
Yeah, SMU in the fourth quarter against Clemson showed what they're made of. So again, SMU might be the side here to play. So
I'm kind of right there with you here. Some cool trends though I like to throw out here. The under for SMU, the game total under has hit in their 4 of the last 6 away games, and Penn State has hit the game total under in 5 of their last 8 home games. So just a fun trend out there if you're looking to bet more of a total point, that you guys can go out there and grab that as well, because it is cool to see these trends, and sometimes they do stick. They do stick. So in that range there, in 52.5 right now that you can get, might be something you drop another some little bit of money on as well for that. So But yeah, I think for you and I think right now is that we have SMU +9, and we're also going to drop a little bit of money on the money line.
Yep. No.
There you go. And if you guys really like it, drop some money on the under 52. And I think you'll have a nice little slate to go along with it here. 52 and a half, ladies and gentlemen. 52 and a half. You know, I'll put $5 on that sucker. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. Here we go. We got a full freaking slate of SMU game coming up, starting in 10 minutes.
I have a strange feeling today's going to be an under day in the college football playoffs. I just have that feeling.
Because that Notre Dame game could have easily gone over, because we know Indiana can score. We know that they can put up points. We know Notre Dame can put up a lot of points as well. We saw that with USC the week before. And we've seen that in a lot of games, actually, with Notre Dame, right? I call them the killers because they kill people. And you saw that last night. But neither team, really put up points until the last, 5 minutes. So bunch of field goals, blocked field goals, chances for touchdowns, and stopped. I think I kind of like the trend on the under for today.
Yeah. I do as well.
All right, we're going to switch it up here. We're going to try to stick in order here. Next up here is the noon game. We're switching up to the NFL, ladies and gentlemen, here. Yes, that's right, NFL. It is Saturday time frame here, and we have a doozy today to start the day off here. Houston at my Chiefs. Could have guarded this game, but instead I had to get sick early in the week and figured, 20 degrees, really up high in the stadium after just recovering is probably not the best idea going into Christmas week. So I chose stay here and do a show in my warm bit. No, I wouldn't say warm, my basement. And watch the game here. So probably the best move I made to be able to, try not to be sick again here. So let's look at it here. Houston 9-5 record this year so far, 6-6 against the spread. Yeah, and you don't see very many two pushes. Yeah. Holy cow! 4-9-1 on the over/under, and they are 4-3 against the spread on away games. Chiefs 13-1, 6-8-0 against the spread, which is amazing to me. But all right, 6-8-0 on the over/under, and they are 7-0. Nah, they aren't. That must be 7-0 record against at home. So, because there ain't no way they're 7-0 against the spread. We know that much. This Chiefs team does not cover.
Yeah,
the spread here. Yeah, the spread here right now is we got some 4s, we got some 3.5s coming into play here. Now, want a reminder here that both teams are playing games 3 games in 10 days. The second game of that slate there. Both teams will play Christmas Day, right? I believe.
Yes. Yep.
So
KC has Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Houston and Texas, Baltimore. So yeah, this is a lot of games in a short period here. I did not pull because it is 10:52, so we should have inactives here. So let's pull that up here. So the inactives list, which we failed to do that last Sunday. My bad. Texans, no John Mechie, no Kate Stover, no Jerry Hughes, no Devin White. But looks like everybody else is in there. Of course, they are missing Petrie, and isn't Al Jazeera or whatever still out? So I think he's still out.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
And then the Chiefs here, no DJ Humphreys, no Chamari Connor, no Uche as well. But The Chiefs do get back Hollywood Brown, baby.
The big one. That's the big one.
Gosh, that's so nice to have. So that'll be a nice little addition there. Of course, Nico Collins is on the other side as well. He looked good with a couple TDs last week here for the Texans here. I guess, Scott, let's talk about this match. I mean, this is a big matchup here for Houston as they're fighting for seeding and looking to, upset the champs here a little bit from that number 1 seed. But the Chiefs are just trying to lock in this one. If they can win today and win on Wednesday, that puts them at a lock for number 1. Then you sit out against Denver, I think it is, in Week 18, and then you sit out that next first round. That's 2 weeks of rest that this team desperately needs right now, while the Bills go at it. So, what's your thoughts here today? Here, what's the take?
So especially rest, especially number 15, he desperately needs the rest. So with this ankle stuff going on again. So when the line first came out, Kansas City was +2. I jumped on that right away. I didn't think Mahomes was going to miss this game today. I just had a feeling he was going to play. Sure enough, he practiced in full. He's playing. Hollywood Brown back is huge for them. It is huge because now Worthy goes back to the number 3 receiver because now you got D-Hop and Hollywood, and getting him 2 games and possibly a half of a third at Denver in Week 18 going into the playoffs. Huge, immense for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs win today. I think it's a low-scoring game. Both defenses are really good. Everybody's worried about Joe Mixon. In any good matchup, in any tough matchup, he has come up short. Running the ball. And Kansas City's
hurt. He's hurt too. He's banged up, man. He's so it's Joe Mixon has, some of that wear and tear hitting him right now coming into this weekend. And you're going against a really good run defense. A couple in that linebacking core of Chenal and Bolton alone, they're going to hit you hard. And that's what they do. They ain't covering jack. Dalton Schultz might go off for 100 yards today, but they're going to hit Joe Mixon hard today.
Yes.
And, and that should be something to watch for there as on that running back side of things.
Yeah. And Houston's passing game is broken. CJ Stroud has not performed well this year at all. Even with Nico Collins in the lineup. Nico Collins had 2 touchdowns, but he had 17 yards on 4 catches last week for 2 touchdowns. So that tells me when inside the 5-yard line, they're going to look for him to score.
I think they are 31st against the blitz, that Houston offense, and we are second in on defensive side of blitzing. So, and Spag.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
and no Chamari Connor. As I kind of already stated there, that's kind of a huge hit for that defense there for the Chiefs. That's a guy that Spags would kind of fly all over the field as well. But you do got Nick Jones who came back, which is nice to see. That should help out as well. So, but it's gonna be interesting game for sure here today because again, both teams are fighting for stuff, fighting for spots, fighting for seeding, and you got another big game coming up on Wednesday that you got to make sure you take care of yourself. So somebody's going to try to, both teams want to try to get up on each other quickly so they can try to get some rest in that fourth quarter. Will it happen? Probably not. Will this be more of a defensive game? Probably so. There will be a lot of, I think, QB hits, QB hurries. Mahomes will probably get hit for another 80 times today. But I like Thuney at left tackle right now. I think Caliendo does a great job in left guard. So, and Thuney did a really great job against Myles Garrett alone last week. So, like, if you can stop Myles Garrett, you should be able to help out with that Houston line a little bit as well this week here. It's going to be the right side where Taylor's at. So, it ain't worried about Creed and Trey, of course. So, and then you have the dual running game. What can Kareem and Pacheco bring today knowing that the pass rush is what Houston is strengthens in. Does one of those two guys really get going there, and how does that go?
Right. So the two bets I made on this game are two very simple bets. I took KC +2 when it first came out. And this morning I took the under 42.5 because I think it's going to be a 13-10 game. That's what I'm looking
Holy
at right
cow.
now.
That's a low game, man.
Yeah, I think so because I think if Mixon doesn't perform, I think Kansas City can just tee off on CJ Stroud and say, okay, you want to, they're going to bring the blitz, they're going to bring the pass rush. So either 13-10 or 17-10, something like that. It's going to be in the 20s, maybe low 30s. And it's cold, too. And Mixon does not want to get hit today. And he's going to get hit.
Yeah.
So,
we like anytime TDs today? I like Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz is one. I like Kareem Hunt, too, on a short one, like a 1 or a 2 yard touchdown. I would look at that.
You know what else I like, Scott?
What's that?
I like me a Noah Gray anytime TD again.
I'm starting him in my auction because I think Mahomes is gonna to avoid getting hit short, quick passes today. Mm-hmm. So I don't think you're gonna see those Xavier Worthy 40 yards down the field. I think you're gonna see Noah Gray, Hollywood Brown on crossers, D-Hop, and Kelsey. I think that's where the passing game is into today. And Noah Gray could pop off for 1 or 2. I think he's going to get 3 or 4 receptions for like 40 yards today. And
he's still heavily involved, man. I think he'll still be heavily involved in this offense. I got him starting on my fantasy football championship right now. That goes on this weekend. So that's a huge one there. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm dropping a little money on each of those. So, because I think I really like those anytime touchdowns of this game here. Because Noah Gray scored 3 of the last 4 games, I believe it was. So,
I believe so. He had 2 in 1 game. So that's another thing. Mahomes trusts him. And if you get to trust him, number 15, then he's going to get you the ball. So.
Exactly. That's where it's at there. I like that, Scott, here. I don't know if I'm taking the -3.5, guys. That's dropped now. Again, like I was sick and I didn't look in my phone. I didn't do jack for early in the week. And, of course, Mahomes is like, oh, yeah, no, I could play now. As I started mending and being able to look at my phone, and that line switched so quick. So I did not get that plus money there. But, I don't mind the under there. I threw a little money on the under, threw a little money on the anytime touchdowns, guys. I think Chiefs win in this one here. Of course, because why would I not? And I'll tell you when I don't, because I didn't think the Chiefs would beat the Broncos earlier. So, and I was almost right, except for that blocked field goal. Denver. No, that's
Houston's a broken team.
They're such a weird team, right? So like they lose to the Titans, but yet you beat the Bills early in the season, and then you struggle against a Mac Jones led Jacksonville team. Like what is this team? Like their offense can't go, and but they won the AFC South, right? And that should mean something at least, because it's hard in this league to win those divisions. So it
does. Man, I agree, but you're looking at Pittsburgh or Baltimore in the first round, and that's not exactly a matchup that I really want to see.
No,
so
not at all.
I mean, it's going to be tough for them to get through the first round of the playoffs. If they do, I'd be really surprised, because then who you're looking at in the second round? Right back to Kansas City again for the playoffs. So it's not a great path.
Not quite where you want to be there from a Houston point. But again, this is a way to keep try to stay in that third spot there. I guess third spot depends what happens with Pittsburgh towards the end of the season, really, in Baltimore. So if they can just, if Houston can just win out, they can put themselves at least in a opportunity for a third spot possibly. So, but we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see for sure. Let's switch it back up here. we'll head back to the college world. We have our next CFP game, Clemson, Texas, going out of here. Surprising enough, Clemson making the CFP after not really being talked about it in it at all or anything like that. But they do got to go to Texas here. It is Clemson's 10-3 so far this year, 6-6 against the spread. They're 4-8 on the over/under. They are 4-0 away games. And Texas is 11-2 this year, 7-6 against the spread, 4-8-1 on the over/under, and they are 6-1 at home here. Now we saw we just talked about SMU in that title game there where Clemson dominated and they start let loose towards the end there, letting SMU back in, or was it that SMU played so horribly that they had to turn it back on at the end of the game, and it really showed what Clemson truly is on the defensive side of things. And then Texas and Georgia here, of course, Georgia winning out this game here. They could not, even though being favorites by 3, they could not beat a Georgia team in the SEC title game here. So both teams, look, one team coming off a high, one team coming off we should have won that game. But one team is missing their season-long starting quarterback. Ewers. Ewers is not playing. He's possibly, for hell as all we know, sounds like he's transferring out of the freaking program at this point. So what's the thoughts here? Minus 13.5. Texas favored here. 49.5 is your totals. What you got, Scott?
I like the under, first of all. I think both offenses are one offense is struggling. One offense played great for 3 quarters and then didn't play good at all in the fourth quarter to the last drive to get in the field goal range to win the ACC championship. I'm going to go on a limb. I like Texas in the spot. At home, minus 13.5. I just think Clemson's going to be outclassed in this game. I just think what you saw in the fourth quarter could very well be what you see in this game. Texas's defense has got pros all over the field. I think they're going to make it tough for Klubnik. I think Texas can win a 28-10 type of game. I see that. Texas has got a lot to prove right now. Arch Manning is the best quarterback in that program, I think. I don't think yours is. I think it's Arch Manning. And I think him playing today, I think you'll see it. So Texas's philosophy is, Quinn, great career at Texas, but now we want you to go away because now we got Arch Manning and we're ready. We want to put him in the game, in the program. So that's what I think.
Somebody should teach Ewers what happens when you get injured and you give somebody else an opportunity. That's the importance of taking care of yourself on the field and also off the field there. And that's just the name of the game. It's just how this game runs. Ladies and gentlemen, give the other guy an opportunity. If he shines, he shines. And, well, that might be the end of your spell. So it's just what it is. So, no, I'm right there with you. When I was kind of looking at this game here, I was in the same boat, right? They didn't cover their last 12.5 spread, which would have been Arkansas, or 13.5 spread, but 12.5 there at Arkansas. But Arkansas is also an NCAA team. And, and we knew that was going to be a tough game. But Clemson was not in this conversation, guys. Not in this conversation, the CFP. And quite frankly, to me, they're not a team that I would consider that honestly should be in there. First off, I know they won the title game, but I still don't think they should have been in there. But rules are rules. So here's your, it's like, what is it? The winner of the conference tourneys in basketball get into the tournament. So it's kind of the same kind of deal. So look at Texas here. I think they dominate this game. I really do. They probably go up a couple TDs early. Clemson struggles to move the ball, and don't put it past Dabo. Put him you got him in the situation, right? We know this guy when he gets into the big games and he gets into the big spotlights. That he can turn that team into to be able to actually focus in. So wouldn't be ultimately surprised if this is more of a game than what we're anticipating. But quite frankly, to me, that's kind of what we're looking at. Is I like Texas minus 13.5 as well. I'll take your under as well, Scott, in this game. I see no reason why Clemson competes in this game. So,
agreed.
Let's switch back up here. We'll head to the 4:30 Eastern game here of the NFL, the final NFL game today here. Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Another chilly one there at Baltimore today, in the 30s and the 20s now coming to play. So let's look at this slate here. Pittsburgh's 10-4, Baltimore's 9-5. Pittsburgh's 10-4-0 against the spread. Baltimore 7-6-1 against the spread. 7-7 over and under for Pittsburgh. Baltimore's 11-3 on the over under. And then Pittsburgh's 5-3 away games, and Baltimore's 4-2 at home games. Now, we just saw Philadelphia and Pittsburgh last week here, as well as Baltimore and the Giants. Baltimore covering a big number of 17 points last week against a horrendous Giants team. Horrendous. That was led by Tommy DeVito, who ended up going out early for that game. But Pittsburgh's had quite a slate against them. Say what you will about the Bengals, but they had to deal with the Browns. They went Browns at Cleveland. Or sorry, no, not even that. Since November 10th, you were at Washington. You had to win that game. Then you had Baltimore there, and you guys had an 18-16 win there. Then you had to go to Cleveland, and we all know what happened there with that snow game. On Thursday Night Football, Jameis Winston came alive. He was playing in the snow, making snow angels there on you, and you lost it. But then you had Cincinnati, and we know Cincinnati puts up those monsters offensive points, and they won, and Pittsburgh won 44-38. They were able to match each score plus some on that, despite Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase going at it. Then you had to play Cleveland again. This time you righted the ship at it. And then you had to play Philadelphia, which Philadelphia didn't really start fully winning until third quarter, fourth quarter? They were in it. They were giving them fits. So this Pittsburgh's team has nothing but a freaking gauntlet leading towards the final day or week of the season, because they have the Chiefs on Wednesday. But, I mean, what do we like here, man? Like, we got to love that Baltimore had kind of an easier day there. They just released Deontay Johnson yesterday. But, they didn't really need him to begin with either. I don't know why they made that stupid trade for a fifth-round pick. And that it wasn't even necessary. You had Bateman, who's been playing his best ball since he got drafted. You have Zay Flowers, who's a number one on your team that you've been begging for since Hollywood Brown. And then you have Mark Andrews and Likely going at it. Like, what else do you want, for this team? So what's your take here? We got right now it's where are we at? -7. Baltimore's favored. 44.5 is your over under.
So no George Pickens. He's out again. The Pittsburgh offense is not good without Pickens. And they beat Baltimore without scoring a touchdown last time. Games in Baltimore, I like Baltimore a lot today. I think revenge is on their mind. I think Lamar is going to play that Superman role like Josh Allen did the last 2 weeks against Rams in Detroit. I just think that this is a Derrick Henry Lamar game today. I think bless you. I think that Derrick Henry is gonna run the ball for 100 yards on over 18.5 carries. That's his prop. I like his over carries. I just think they're gonna run the heck out of the ball today. I know TJ Watt's there. He's gonna shift to the other side because of his ankle injury. So he's not playing his normal position. He's gonna switch and with whoever is over there, I forget whoever is over there, so he can get explosiveness off his good ankle. So and I don't know how that's going to work, but I just like Baltimore today. I think this is for the division. This is for the division. If Baltimore wins and they win out, they'll win the division. So, and Pittsburgh still has a couple of gauntlet games still to go. So,
yeah, what is this? Baltimore's like 2-8 against the Steelers. Like they can't beat the Steelers. Yeah. It's like 2 wins in the last 6 games against the Steelers. The Steelers own them.
Lamar has never scored over 20 fantasy points against the Steelers in his career.
To be fair, they always have a really freaking great defense.
Agreed. But Lamar has struggled against them. I think he breaks that struggle today. I think Baltimore, they do not want to go in a wild card situation where they have to go on the road almost the whole playoffs. I think they want to win the division and host a first-round playoff game and then take it from there. So I think Baltimore wins today. If it was at Pittsburgh, I probably would take the points with the Steelers, but it's at Baltimore. So I think Baltimore wins by probably 10 points today.
I mean, the last, before the Giants, Baltimore had played Philadelphia, and Philadelphia beat them 24-19. And then before that, you beat the Chargers, who kind of were already on a downfall. You lost to Pittsburgh, couldn't score a touchdown there. And then Cincy, you beat by 1 point. Denver, you crushed, which is your last big blowout. You're the only other team that you've beat playoff worthy. I guess is Tampa and Washington would be your two, or in middle October there, which were both close games.
I want to say that
put anybody ahead, like hasn't blown anybody out.
I want to say that Pittsburgh is going to sell out to stop Derrick Henry today. I think that's the way they're going to go, like they did last game, because Derrick Henry did not have a Derrick Henry game last time. So I think that Pittsburgh will do the same exact thing today, is say, if we lose to Baltimore, it's not because of Derrick Henry. It's going to be because Lamar threw another 4 touchdown passes like he did against the Giants, which is not going to happen today because Pittsburgh's defense is much better than the Giants. So if Baltimore gets to 20, I think Pittsburgh's going to struggle to get to 13. So I think that's where the target number for Baltimore has to be today, 20. And if they get there, I don't think Pittsburgh can get there because their running game is not good and their passing game is short. They're stud. So it's going to be tough for Russell Wilson today.
That's fair. That's fair there. I personally like the plus 7 for Pittsburgh here today. And then, 44.5. If Baltimore's supposed to break this thing out, that has to be an over number. If Pittsburgh's going to win this game, it's an under number.
Yeah, the one other thing I'll say is the thing that gives me pause on this point spread is look at the history of this rivalry. It's usually a field goal game at the end to win it. So
head to head. Let's see here.
I may switch it up and go Pittsburgh plus 7 because that's the history of this rivalry.
So it looks like November. So last time they met, 18-16. And then January 6th and October 8th were 17-10. And then and I think those were both late scores. I mean, that's such a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure those late scores. And then 16-13, 16-14, 16-13. And that last one was 222. So this is just because they some teams might think Pittsburgh might be a little overrated right now, like they still hang in these games. This is a big game for Tomlin, and Tomlin owns Harbaugh, quite frankly. So that's a huge deal here. So I think for me, because I'm leaning towards Pittsburgh winning, right? So I'm going to take the under in total points, and I'll probably dabble on money on Pittsburgh's money line today.
Yeah,
I think, and maybe even I'll probably actually put a little money on the spread too at 7. Because at worst, right? They lose by 3, lose by 5. So I'd probably take Pittsburgh's spread for sure in this game here. I honestly don't think Lamar in that offense. I don't think Harbaugh has the ability to coach a blowout game in this kind of game.
Right.
So
agreed. He's bad in blowouts. Awful. So
yeah. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. So let's pop in here. We're gonna take here for a final CFP game today. Looking at none other than Tennessee at Ohio State. It gonna be cold. It gonna be real cold. At 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. You're looking here at a Tennessee team that's 10-2, 7-5 against the spread, 7-5 on the over under, and they are 2-2 on away games. Ohio State, on the other hand, is 10-2 on their record, 6-6 against the spread, 5-7 on the over under, and they are 7-1-0. Wonder who that one was. As we look at it, because they sure won the title game.
Could have been Michigan, maybe.
Weird, right? Oh man. So this should be a good game though, right? So if we kind of look at what Tennessee did, right? Tennessee had Vandy the last week there, and they walloped Vandy after going down a couple touchdowns there. But if we look at the teams that are good teams that they played, right? UGA. So they lost to Georgia 17-31 there. Georgia just came out and just did things different there. But they did beat Bama 24-17. And I guess they lost to Arkansas as well, which is always a tough place to play there. But it's very inconsistent on the spreads and the records here, as they are 5-5 their last 10 on the over unders and 5-5 on the spread. So very consistent team of Tennessee. Ohio State here. We already know about the Michigan loss, being favored by almost 20 and losing that game. But they did crush Indiana, that we saw yesterday, lose. They did beat Penn State by 7. And they lost to Oregon, which we knew that kind of game was going back and forth. Again, another very inconsistent against the spread type of game. 5-5 the last 10. They're 3-7 on the over and under. It seems to me too, like Ohio State, if they're not going to crush you, it's going to be a very under game. It's going to be very slow. What do I want to say? Slow pace, monotonous game kind of thing. So, with Ohio State now, can Ohio State dominate Tennessee? Maybe. Like, that's the thing. You're going against one of the best defenses in yards and yards per play at 1 and 2 for Ohio State. This Tennessee offense has their work cut out for them. You're going against the second best passing defense in the league. Fifth in yards per rush. Like this defense is phenomenal. But Tennessee's defense is a little on the is definitely around the same side. Not much further. Still top 5 in yards. Still top 5 in the passing game and rushing game here. More so on the rushing aspect is where there'll be a great containment there, but they do give up big plays in the passing game, which we all know that's where Ohio State strives. So, but what's your take here? What do we like here? We got right now. It is we're at -7. Oh, we have a -7 right now on BetMGM. There's a +7.5 there on DraftKings right now for Tennessee. Over under is 46.5. What do you like?
So first of all, the first 2 college football playoff games, if you're looking for them, they're on TNT. They're not on regular TV. They're on TNT. Why? I have no idea. So this game is the perfect in-game betting. Why? Because Ohio State's that slow. The crowd's going to get on them. They're going to get tight. Tennessee's going to be able to move the ball, I think, a little bit better than normal. I like the under. Love the under in this game. I think this is an under game. It's written all over it. I got it at 46.5. I don't know where it is now, but I got it at 46.5 when it opened. I just think that this is going to be slow, methodical. Ohio State's going to feel some pressure early on because of the Michigan loss. If Tennessee gets up 7-0, I don't know how Ohio State's going to react to it. They could crumble. There's a lot of pressure on Ryan Day in this game to win. That could very easily lead to Ohio State getting tight and playing conservative. So I'm going to wait. I bet the under. I'm going under for sure. I'm going to wait till the first quarter starts. It kicks off and see how this game goes in the first quarter. And then I'll probably make my bet on the side. I'm leaning toward Tennessee right now. I think if Tennessee gets the ball first and goes down and scores, Ohio State could be in for a long night. So, and the other thing I'll tell you is this. Ohio State website put tickets on sale. Tennessee people got the code and went into the Ohio State site. So you're going to see a ton of Tennessee fans there tonight because they went into Ohio State's web address and got the code and purchased tickets off the Ohio State website. So Tennessee's going to have a lot of fans there tonight. So
Iowa State did the same thing here at KU, or with the KU game. So yeah, it's hey, I get it. I hate those schools. I don't agree with that whole code thing. Like if you're there, sell tickets, sell the tickets, man. Come on. Like,
and the code was like OSU FB or something like that. It was like
it's something stupid. It always is.
Yeah.
Like, I should have just done that. Try that out. No, it's so dumb. Look, I think this game here is definitely a great primetime game to watch here. I think it's going to be very close. I really do. I think we're looking at a similar game. What do I want to say? Probably similar game to what the Penn State game was for Ohio State, the 2013. Somewhere that, I don't think it overscores too much here. It gets too many crazy. I'd definitely lean the under in this game. For this here, Ohio State might squeak it out here, but if you're giving me 7.5 points for Tennessee, I'm taking the 7.5 points for Tennessee. I don't think this thing is a more than touchdown style game at all. So that's kind of where I'm leaning here in this final matchup here. So hey, great slate today. Right now, SMU Penn State are 0-0 as this is ongoing. There is a few bowl games here going on. Looks like just never mind. No bowl games today. Nothing till Monday. So we'll discuss that tomorrow for that slate here. I know there's other sports going on here. I haven't even paying attention to college basketball much, but we do got.
I have one college basketball pick.
Ooh, what do you got?
Drake minus 24 over Wisconsin Green Bay. Here's the reason.
Yes.
Doug Gottlieb is the head coach of Wisconsin Green Bay. They just lost to Michigan Tech, 72-70.
Nobody you.
Doug Gottlieb's been spouting off on Twitter and everything else. Him and Schefter got into it, and Schefter just shut him down completely. He's doing a radio show. His mind is not focused on coaching college basketball. His mind is, who do I get for my radio show? I got to prep for my radio show. But I'm going to coach my basketball team. They're going to Drake, who's 10-0. And if you look at their schedule so far, they've beaten some really good teams. I love Drake tonight. I think Drake's going to win by 30 tonight and hammer them. Wisconsin Green Bay has no right even playing a Drake in this game. I don't know if it's a conference game or not, but Drake's 10-0, and they bury teams. They just beat Kansas State or Iowa State, Kansas State, 73-70.
I thought it was Iowa State.
Iowa State. And they beat Providence this year. They've beaten some Ohio State. I think they beat. So they're a really good team. I can see them being a Sweet 16 team this year. So give me Drake.
Yeah. No, that was this Drake team is definitely a team that I've highlighted early in the season because I knew. Yep. I was like, I saw them play a couple times. Oh no, they was K-State. My bad. Beat them by 3. K-State sucks, but they beat Vandy as well. They beat Vandy. They beat Miami. Let's see here, Georgia Southern. Who else here? I mean, Providence. Yeah, Providence. Yeah, I mean they've beat teams here. So, but yeah, Green Bay. Then they got Belmont, UIC. I mean, we could be sitting here. They could be sitting here at 20-0 possibly. Yeah. By the time they play UNI in January 29th. So
I look at great team. I look at Drake as, remember Indiana State last year? How everybody was high on them and they were really good. Yeah, Drake's going down that same road as Indiana State. And I think they're going to get into the tournament and they're going to make some noise once they get in there. So.
Yeah, they will. They'll be a team to definitely watch and bet for. Right now, I know we got Connecticut Butler going. We got Duke and Georgia Tech going. We got Chattanooga, Indiana. And Chattanooga's up 3 points right now in Indiana with 7 or just under 8 minutes to go. And that was a game I actually liked at the plus 14. I think it was like plus 15 or 16, I think it was, by the time the game kicked out or before it kicked off. So I liked that one a lot. So that one's trending well. I know SMU and BC are going at it here. It looks like SMU's down by 6. But Marquette and Xavier, that's a hell of a matchup right now. Xavier's up by 1 here with 8:45 left. North Florida and Florida, I kind of expected that to be a little closer, but I think North Florida's time of upsetting decent teams or at least competing is officially over. So they had a good start of the season, but I don't think that thing's going anywhere for them here.
That BC SMU game, live bet SMU BC is not good at all. They're not very good. So I would live bet SMU, especially if it's plus points right now.
Yeah, so. It is. I'm sure I can tell you. Right now it's 8 points. So I'd wait for that thing to hit double digits before you do that. I like St. Bonaventure minus 17 over Niagara. That's a 10-1 team right there. And I like them covering games. They love it when they're a really good cover team for that here. I'm just kind of going down the college basketball slate here, just seeing anything that pops out to me. Probably Clemson minus 9 over Wake Forest today. The fact that it's under 10, I'd take that game big time for sure. Let's see here. Who else we got? Yeah, I don't mind St. Thomas in Minnesota minus 3.5 over Bowling Green. St. Thomas has been a team. They're 6-4 against the spread right now, and that's been a team that can put up some points against teams. Louisville and Florida State going at it today. I don't know. I don't know which direction I'd go. I probably lean more towards Florida State in this matchup.
Yeah. Louisville's inconsistent to say the least. So I would lean toward Florida State.
I'd probably take Jacksonville State right now over Eastern Kentucky. I'd probably take Liberty over Texas Arlington. It's under 10 point spread there. Don't care for these 31-point spreads like Houston and all that jazz. Good slate today, though.
Yeah, 24 is about the most I would go, and it's Drake in Wisconsin, Green Bay. So that's why I took Drake at 24. But
James Madison minus 1 at minus 105 against South Alabama.
I like James Madison.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, Mount St. Mary's in Miami going at it today, and I take that plus 17.5 of Mount St. Mary's on Miami.
Yeah. The other trend I've noticed, Alabama, their basketball team, they play very high scoring games.
They do.
So if you see a total in the 150s or 160s, I'd go over on that because they're scoring 90 points themselves in games.
Right. Yeah. So. And then UCLA, North Carolina going at it today. A couple blue bloods, 18th and the 20th best team. That should be a hell of a matchup there. It's 149 in the over under. I'd probably lean the over in that game. I think that could be a lot of points as well. Man, Villanova Creighton. Villanova's looking for some big wins. I know Creighton, they're kind of an up and down top 25 team. So only minus 4.5. I probably wouldn't mind sprinkling a little money there against them.
At Creighton or at Villanova?
At Creighton.
At Creighton, yeah. I might take Creighton in that.
Here's a hell of a matchup. Purdue and Auburn going at it today here. 9-point favorites on Auburn. I like that. 9-point favorite.
I do too.
Definitely over, though, on the 148.5 for that game. Yeah. I don't think that one's not going to be a low scoring game.
That could be in the 80s, both teams.
Ohio State, Kentucky going at it today. 7.5-point favorites for Kentucky.
Kentucky's really good this year. They beat Gonzaga. They've beaten a couple other good teams. They're really good. They're not missing Calipari at all. Mark Pope's done a fantastic job at Kentucky. So
Louisville, Gonzaga, they lost to Clemson. Was their last big loss, but yeah, they beat Duke as well. So
yeah,
I don't mind them at all. We do got a Ohio State team that lost to Auburn by almost 40. Holy cow! Yeah. Jesus, man.
I mean, Kentucky's not – Auburn's really good, but Kentucky is just barely a step down from Auburn.
Yeah.
That's how good they're playing right now. So you got to capitalize on it while you can.
I'd take that -8 big time on a Kentucky there. Yeah. You talked about your Drake and Green Bay there game already. Utah and Iowa going at it today. Iowa being more favorites, which I agree with. I think that's appropriate there. K-State and Wichita State. If we're talking about two teams that stink, I'd probably take the under of 153 on that one. I tell you that much.
Yeah.
Oh my! I didn't know those two teams were playing today. That's awful. Here's a good game. Look, I don't like the big spreads. Well, no, this ain't the game. Never mind. I was thinking of somebody else. I was looking at Bucknell Gonzaga. I was thinking of another team, not Bucknell. I was going to take that plus 35, but never mind. I don't want to do that anymore.
Ever since the Kentucky game, Gonzaga's not blowing teams out. They're not scoring a ton of points either.
No.
I mean, I'm not saying take the 35 today, but I'm saying they have not performed well offensively on the offensive side of the floor. So that's a problem right now for Gonzaga.
Final game in slate tonight, California, San Diego State, -5 for San Diego State. I wouldn't mind sprinkling a little bit there. Cal's been playing really good ball too for this. And, I mean, these two teams do have history here. But, San Diego State, I think, is just a better team. They beat Houston. They lost to Oregon, sure, but they did beat Creighton as well, lost to Gonzaga. But California here, their biggest games have been, Stanford, Missouri, and they lost both of those. USC they did beat this year, but they lost to Vandy as well. So they haven't really beat anybody worthy. It still should be a really close game, but I don't mind this 5.5 here for the college basketball slate. So yeah, that's a hell of a slate on top of all the football we have today.
College basketball college basketball has been really good. They've had some really marquee matchups early in the season. They never have as many. So this leads into conference play. And conference play in a lot of these conferences is going to be really good this year. So,
right. And then at Norton's Picks, Eric Norton, he did drop me some messages here, and he does have some hockey picks here. First off, Tampa Bay. I think these aren't parlays. No, these are straight up. Okay, good. Tampa Bay money line there against. That's not it. That's already done. Are you gonna give me updated or what? That's old. That's old. That's old. That's old. That's old. That was old. All right, here we go. All right. So he has the Kings today money line. He has Detroit money line on the hot. Is the NHL guys. Kings, Detroit. I like that. He has Connor anytime goal scorer in the Minnesota Winnipeg game. He has Kaprizov anytime goal scorer as well. Today he has Toronto -1.5 going against the Islanders. And then he has Mikov anytime goal scorer, and he has Ottawa money line as well, +112 there. So against Vancouver, I don't mind those bets. I did bet him last week for what he put out there, and he did go 3-1 for me. So I don't mind what he throws out there for his daily bets, guys. It is great to tell at Eric at Norton's Bets. Go follow him on Twitter there. It is a good follow. It is worth it. I promise you guys there. So that should be a good slate there. Scott, you got anything else, man? Before we go enjoy a whole day of sports?
I actually took the Kings Chiefs parlay money line, both of them.
Oh, that's a good money line. I like that.
Yeah, I got plus 180 on it, so it's pretty good. No, enjoy the day today. This is like Christmas, early Christmas today. Early Christmas. It's great. 2 TV setup. College football.
Laptop will be on the couch. Big TV will be on the Chiefs game. So SMU and Chiefs will be on my first slate here, and then we'll kind of rotate in and out as we go. So yes, I will. Right there with you, man. We're gonna have ourselves a nice rotation of what's going on. So
enjoy it, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow. Of course, it's gonna be Sunday. We'll have a great NFL slate going on. We'll talk some more college football playoffs as well. On top of that, the other sports that are going on in the world. It's a busy sports world, and we love it. So for all those out there, make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow. Make sure you get your bets in, and make sure the biggest key of it all, you lock it in. So, all right, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Show up about the same time, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. We should be on. So we'll see you guys.
All right.